Did you know that approximately 240,000 older adults in the US experience mini-strokes every year? These brief episodes, known medically as transient ischemic attacks, often go unnoticed, especially among seniors. But don't be fooled by their short duration. These fleeting moments could be the body's urgent cry for help. Here's the scary truth. 1 in 5 people who experience a mini-stroke will suffer a major stroke within just 90 days. The symptoms can be so subtle that they're often mistaken for normal signs of aging, like feeling dizzy for a moment, temporary vision changes, or suddenly struggling to find the right words. It's easy to brush them off as just getting older, but that could be a deadly mistake. Recognizing these signs early could mean the difference between life and death. Why is this so critical? Because mini-strokes are not just harmless glitches. They're powerful warning signals that your brain's blood supply is compromised. Think of them as a fire alarm, alerting you before the fire gets out of control. Ignoring them is like hitting the snooze button on a life-threatening emergency. What makes this even trickier is that the signs of mini-strokes in older adults often disguise themselves as simple age-related issues. They blend in so well with everyday experiences that many people don't realize what's happening until it's too late. And that's exactly why understanding these signs is so important, especially if you're between 60 and 80. In today's video, we're diving deep into the 8 signs of mini-strokes you must know. These aren't just medical facts, they're life-saving knowledge. Some of these symptoms are so brief and subtle that they're often overlooked, but catching them could prevent a major stroke and change the course of your life, or the life of someone you love. So stick around until the end, because the last sign we'll cover is the most commonly missed, and it could be the one that saves your life. If you're serious about protecting your health and staying independent as you age, you can't afford to miss this. Let's get started. Your future self will thank you for it. 1. Sudden weakness or numbness. Sudden weakness or numbness is one of the most alarming warning signs of a mini-stroke. It can happen without any prior notice and typically affects only one side of the body. You might feel an unusual heaviness in your face, especially around your mouth, as if one side is slowly drooping. Or perhaps your arm suddenly feels leaden, as if filled with cement, making it surprisingly difficult to hold a cup of coffee in the morning or reach for the TV remote. Sometimes, your leg might feel so weak that standing steady becomes almost impossible. What's truly frightening about this symptom is how suddenly it appears and how quickly it can disappear, often within minutes to an hour. This fleeting nature makes it easy to brush off, thinking everything is back to normal. But that's a dangerous mistake. This kind of sudden weakness or numbness isn't due to fatigue or sleeping in an awkward position. It's a result of a temporary disruption of blood flow to a part of the brain. Our brain functions like a bustling city, with highways delivering oxygen and nutrients. When one of these routes gets blocked, even briefly, the parts of the body controlled by that area of the brain lose normal function, leading to sudden weakness or numbness. A friend of mine experienced this while cooking. Suddenly, her right hand couldn't grip the wooden spoon. She thought she was just having a numb spell from standing too long, but when she tried to lift her arm, it was as if it was frozen in place. Thankfully, she recognized that this could be a sign of a mini-stroke and was rushed to the hospital in time. Her story serves as a powerful reminder that these symptoms should never be ignored. The key is to recognize the difference between numbness from sleeping in a weird position and the sudden, one-sided weakness or numbness of a mini-stroke. If you or a loved one suddenly feels weakness or numbness on one side of the body for no clear reason, seek medical help immediately. Acting quickly can prevent a more serious stroke and even save a life. 2. Temporary vision changes. Temporary vision changes are another crucial warning sign of a mini-stroke, and they often catch people off guard. Imagine sitting in your favorite chair, enjoying a good book, when suddenly the words blur as if a foggy mist has settled over the page. Or perhaps you're watching television and the screen seems to split in two, showing double images of everything. Even more alarmingly, some people experience temporary blindness in one eye, almost as if a curtain has been drawn over their vision. These vision disturbances occur because certain parts of the brain responsible for processing visual information temporarily lose their blood supply. Your eyes are perfectly healthy. The problem lies in how your brain interprets what your eyes are seeing. This disconnection creates temporary confusion in your visual field, making familiar surroundings appear distorted or unclear. I once heard about a woman named Margaret who was knitting by her window on a sunny afternoon. Suddenly, she realized she could only see out of one eye, as if a dark shadow had fallen over the other. Alarmed, she closed her eyes, took a few deep breaths, and when she reopened them, her vision was back to normal. She dismissed it as fatigue or perhaps a trick of the light. It wasn't until she mentioned it to her daughter that they realized it could have been a warning sign of a mini-stroke. Thankfully, she sought medical attention in time. One specific type of vision change related to mini-strokes is called amaurosis fugax, a temporary blindness in one eye that feels like a shade being pulled down over your vision. It typically lasts only a few minutes, but appears so suddenly that it can be quite alarming. Even if your vision quickly returns to normal, these temporary changes indicate a serious underlying issue that needs immediate medical attention. The danger lies in the fleeting nature of these symptoms. They come and go so quickly that they're easy to ignore, leading people to assume it was just a moment of tiredness or eye strain. But make no mistake, temporary vision changes, no matter how brief, are red flags that something serious may be happening in your brain. If you ever experience sudden vision changes like blurriness, double vision, or temporary blindness in one eye, don't brush it off. Seek medical help immediately. Recognizing and acting on this warning sign could be the difference between preventing a major stroke and facing life-changing consequences. 3. Speech difficulties. Speech difficulties during a mini-stroke can be one of the most alarming and confusing warning signs. Imagine being in the middle of a conversation, fully aware of what you want to say, but suddenly the words just won't come out right. It feels like your tongue is tangled, or the words come out jumbled and slurred, almost as if you're speaking with a mouthful of marbles. This isn't just a moment of forgetfulness or fatigue. It's a sudden and profound disruption in the way your brain communicates with your mouth. Mini-strokes, or transient ischemic attacks, temporarily interrupt blood flow to the parts of the brain responsible for language and speech. This disruption can manifest in three main ways: slurred speech, difficulty finding words, or problems understanding what others are saying. It's as if the brain's language centers suddenly go offline, making communication feel like a near impossible puzzle. Take the example of Robert, a retired teacher who prided himself on his eloquence. One morning, while chatting with his neighbor, he suddenly found himself struggling to say something as simple as, "Good morning." The words felt heavy and wouldn't form correctly, leaving him feeling embarrassed and confused. His neighbor noticed his speech sounded slurred, almost as if he were drunk, but the episode passed within minutes. Shaken, Robert brushed it off as being tired or dehydrated. But little did he know that his brain had just sent him a serious warning. This type of speech disruption is known as aphasia, a temporary impairment in the brain's ability to process or express language. Unlike the usual stumbles over words we all experience from time to time, aphasia appears suddenly and affects the very basics of communication. You might be fully aware of what others are saying, but the words sound foreign or distorted, like listening to a scrambled radio signal. Conversely, you might know exactly what you want to say, but can't seem to form the words or say them clearly. What makes speech difficulties during a mini-stroke particularly concerning is their sudden onset and temporary nature. They come out of nowhere, often last only a few minutes, and then disappear just as quickly. This fleeting appearance makes them easy to ignore or dismiss as a weird moment, but they are a red flag for an underlying issue with blood flow to the brain. The sudden return to normal speech doesn't mean the danger has passed. It means you've just been given a crucial opportunity to act. These brief episodes are your body's emergency alarm system, warning you that a major stroke could be on the horizon. If you or someone you know experiences sudden speech difficulties, even if they clear up quickly, seek medical help immediately. Don't wait to see if it happens again. Acting fast could be the difference between preventing a major stroke and facing life-altering consequences. Recognizing and responding to speech difficulties as a sign of a mini-stroke can save lives. It's not just about understanding the symptoms. It's about taking them seriously and seeking medical attention without delay. Remember, every minute counts when it comes to strokes, so don't hesitate. Speak up and get help, even when the words don't come out right. Fourth, confusion. Sudden confusion caused by a mini-stroke is not just ordinary forgetfulness. It's a state of complete disorientation that can make you feel lost even in your own home. It can strike without warning, leaving your mind feeling foggy, making it difficult to think clearly, and even causing you to lose track of where you are. This isn't just about misplacing your keys or forgetting someone's name. This kind of confusion can make the most familiar things seem strange and unsettling. Imagine standing in your own kitchen, a place where you've cooked countless meals, but suddenly, you can't remember how to turn on the stove or where you keep your coffee cups. This confusion hits like a switch being flipped in your brain, with no prior warning, and often disappears within minutes or hours, leaving you wondering if it was just stress or fatigue. But don't be fooled. This isn't normal age-related memory loss. The key difference is in the speed and intensity of the symptoms. While age-related memory decline happens gradually over time, confusion from a mini-stroke comes on suddenly and intensely, making you feel as if you're trapped in a mental fog that you can't escape. This happens when a part of the brain responsible for thinking and cognition temporarily loses its blood supply, causing it to malfunction. Even more frightening, this type of confusion can make you forget the most basic things. For example, someone might suddenly forget how to unlock their front door, or be unable to recall the name of a close friend they've known for years. They might even fail to recognize their own face in the mirror. These situations are not only disorienting but also terrifying, especially when they occur out of the blue for no apparent reason. Although these symptoms might fade quickly, they should never be ignored. In fact, they are crucial warning signs that something is wrong with the blood flow to your brain. Just as chest pain can be a warning sign of an impending heart attack, sudden confusion can be a red flag for a potential major stroke. If you or someone you know experiences this symptom, don't hesitate. Seek medical attention immediately. Recognizing and acting quickly on sudden confusion could be the difference between preventing a health crisis or facing one. Don't dismiss it as just a part of getting older. It could be your body's alarm system signaling a more serious problem waiting to happen. 5. Sudden dizziness or loss of balance can be a frightening warning sign of a mini-stroke, often striking without any prior indication. This isn't the usual lightheadedness you might feel from standing up too quickly. Instead, it's a disorienting sensation that makes the room feel like it's spinning around you, or as if the ground beneath you is shifting unpredictably, like standing on the deck of a rocking ship. Your legs may suddenly feel unstable, and you might find yourself reaching out to grab nearby furniture just to stay upright. This alarming experience occurs because a mini-stroke temporarily disrupts blood flow to parts of the brain responsible for balance and coordination. Normally, your brain works like a sophisticated control center, processing signals from your inner ear, eyes, and body posture to keep you steady on your feet. When blood flow to these areas is interrupted, this delicate coordination is thrown off balance, leading to sudden dizziness or unsteadiness. Scientific research has shown that when a mini-stroke affects the cerebellum or brainstem, the regions controlling balance and motor coordination, it can cause severe vertigo or loss of balance without any warning. This can make even simple tasks, like walking across your living room or standing up from a chair, incredibly challenging. Imagine walking on a flat, familiar surface when suddenly it feels like the ground is tilting beneath you, or standing in your kitchen when a wave of dizziness hits, forcing you to grab the countertop for support. Unlike typical dizziness caused by fatigue or dehydration, dizziness from a mini-stroke strikes suddenly, without warning, and is often accompanied by other symptoms like vision changes or numbness. One particularly concerning aspect of this symptom is its sudden onset during everyday activities. For example, you might be strolling down a familiar hallway when the world suddenly tilts to one side, or standing in your own kitchen when an overwhelming sense of imbalance forces you to clutch the counter for support. Unlike ordinary dizziness, which is often linked to obvious triggers like dehydration or quick movements, mini-stroke dizziness occurs without any warning and is frequently accompanied by other symptoms such as vision changes or numbness. These balance issues may resolve on their own within minutes or hours, but they are a serious red flag that warrants immediate medical attention. Neurologists warn that even if the dizziness or imbalance is brief, it could signal a significant problem with blood flow to the brain and could be an early warning sign of a more severe stroke. Don't dismiss unusual dizziness or sudden loss of balance, especially if it occurs alongside other symptoms like vision changes or muscle weakness. Even if the symptoms fade quickly, it doesn't mean the danger is over. It means you have a crucial opportunity to seek medical intervention and potentially prevent a more serious stroke. If you or someone you know experiences these warning signs, don't hesitate. Seek medical help immediately. Early intervention could save a life or prevent more severe brain damage. 6. Severe headaches. Severe headaches associated with a mini-stroke are nothing like ordinary headaches or even migraines. These headaches strike suddenly and intensely, often described as the worst headache someone has ever experienced. Unlike regular headaches that gradually build up, this pain comes on without warning and reaches maximum intensity almost immediately, like a lightning bolt to the head. It's sharp, piercing, and overwhelming, not the dull ache of a tension headache or the throbbing pulse of a migraine. During a mini-stroke, sudden changes in blood flow through the brain's blood vessels, create intense pressure, leading to these excruciating headaches. The pain often feels like a stabbing sensation or a crushing weight pressing down on the head. It's so severe that it can stop someone in their tracks, forcing them to sit down and hold their head in agony. Imagine someone having a normal conversation when, out of nowhere, they are gripped by a blinding headache that leaves them speechless and struggling to keep their balance. One of the most alarming aspects of this type of headache is how abruptly it begins, often accompanied by other mini-stroke symptoms like dizziness, vision changes, or speech difficulties. This sudden onset makes it especially dangerous because it signals a critical issue unfolding in the brain. Even if the headache eases quickly, its appearance alongside other neurological symptoms is a serious warning that requires immediate medical attention. It's important to recognize that this type of headache is not like any regular headache. It doesn't gradually intensify, but instead strikes with a fierce and shocking pain, making the person feel like something catastrophic is happening inside their head. If you or someone you know experiences a sudden, severe headache like this, don't ignore it. Seek emergency medical care immediately. It could be a warning sign of a larger stroke waiting to happen. 7. Short loss of consciousness. Short loss of consciousness during a mini-stroke is one of the most alarming symptoms that demands immediate attention. This isn't just feeling a bit lightheaded or dozing off. It strikes suddenly and without warning, often in the middle of daily activities. One moment, everything seems normal, and the next, the person experiences an overwhelming wave of sleepiness or even briefly passes out. This temporary blackout is not due to fatigue, low blood sugar, or dehydration. It happens because a critical area of the brain temporarily loses its blood supply, disrupting the systems responsible for keeping you alert and aware. Imagine someone chatting with their family when suddenly they feel an intense drowsiness wash over them. Their head droops and they struggle to stay awake as if someone flipped a switch in their brain. Or picture someone doing something as routine as washing dishes when they unexpectedly lose consciousness, dropping what they're holding and collapsing without warning. It's not the slow onset of tiredness at the end of a long day, but an abrupt and severe interruption of awareness. What makes this especially dangerous is its suddenness. Unlike fainting spells from dehydration or low blood sugar, which usually come with warning signs like dizziness, sweating, or nausea, many stroke-related blackouts happen with no buildup at all. One moment they're fully conscious, and the next they're out cold or fighting off extreme drowsiness. This unpredictable onset is what makes short loss of consciousness such a red flag. Even if consciousness quickly returns and the person seems back to normal, this should never be ignored. The temporary nature of these blackouts doesn't mean they're harmless. In fact, they're a critical warning sign of a serious circulatory problem in the brain. It's the body's way of signaling that something is dangerously wrong with blood flow to the brain, and it needs urgent medical attention. If you or someone you know experiences this kind of sudden blackout or extreme drowsiness, don't brush it off as mere fatigue. It could be a mini stroke, which is a precursor to a much more severe stroke if left untreated. Acting fast and seeking medical help can make all the difference in preventing a more catastrophic event. Risk factors for mini strokes in older adults. Understanding the risk factors for mini strokes is a crucial step in protecting the health of older adults. One of the biggest culprits is high blood pressure. When blood pressure remains consistently high, it's like a powerful current pressing against the delicate blood vessels in the brain. This constant pressure not only weakens the vessel walls over time, but also increases the risk of temporary blockages or damage, leading to mini strokes. Imagine an old water pipe facing too much pressure. It starts to leak or even burst. That's exactly what's happening inside your blood vessels if high blood pressure is left uncontrolled. Diabetes is another hidden danger, especially when blood sugar levels are poorly managed. High blood sugar gradually damages blood vessel walls, making them more susceptible to temporary blockages. This is particularly risky for older adults, whose blood vessels are already weakened by age. This is why careful blood sugar management becomes crucial as we grow older. Additionally, irregular heart rhythms, especially atrial fibrillation, significantly increase the risk of mini strokes. When the heart beats irregularly, blood can pool in the heart chambers, forming small clots. These clots can travel to the brain, temporarily blocking blood flow and causing mini stroke symptoms. Think of it like fallen leaves clogging a stream. The blockage might clear on its own, but it signals a potentially serious underlying issue. Lifestyle choices also play a significant role. Smoking not only directly damages blood vessels, but also increases the likelihood of blood clot formation. A sedentary lifestyle and excess weight put additional stress on the cardiovascular system, increasing the risk of mini strokes. Poor dietary choices, especially diets high in saturated fats and sodium, contribute to blood vessel damage and high stroke risk. But here's the good news. You can take control of these risk factors. Making it a habit to regularly check your blood pressure, carefully managing blood sugar levels, and maintaining a steady heart rhythm can significantly reduce your risk of mini strokes. Combined with quitting smoking, maintaining a healthy weight, and adopting a balanced diet, you're actively protecting your health and the well-being of your loved ones. Remember, understanding these risk factors doesn't just help you avoid mini strokes. It also prevents more severe complications in the future. Taking action today empowers you to live independently, actively and healthily as you age. Don't wait. Start making small but impactful changes now. The fast method and taking quick action. Acting quickly when you notice the warning signs of a mini-stroke can make all the difference between full recovery and permanent brain damage. Medical experts emphasize the golden hour, the first 60 minutes after symptoms begin, as the most crucial time to take action. In this brief window, calling for emergency help can restore blood flow to the brain, prevent long-term brain damage, and reduce the risk of a more severe stroke. To remember the key warning signs and know when to act, use the FAST method. This simple but powerful tool stands for F. Face. Look for sudden drooping on one side of the face, especially when the person smiles. One side of the mouth might sag or look uneven. A. Arms. Ask the person to raise both arms. If one arm drifts downward or they can't lift it at all, this is a serious warning sign. S. Speech. Listen for sudden slurred speech or difficulty forming words. Their voice might sound garbled or unclear. T. Time. Time is critical. Note when the symptoms started and call 911 immediately. Don't wait to see if the symptoms go away on their own. Every minute counts because the brain needs a steady supply of blood to survive. When calling for emergency help, stay calm and clearly describe the symptoms, including when they began. If possible, write down the exact time because this information helps medical teams decide on the best treatment. While waiting for the ambulance, keep the person lying still and calm. Avoid moving them to prevent falls if they are off balance. Do not give them any food or drink, as swallowing may be impaired. Gather information about any medications they are taking and their medical history to share with emergency responders. Most importantly, stay with them and closely monitor their symptoms. If there are any changes in their condition or behavior, report this immediately to the medical team when they arrive. Acting quickly and accurately not only saves lives, but also improves the chances of a better recovery after a mini-stroke. Being prepared and aware can make a life-saving difference. I hope today's video has given you valuable insights into recognizing the subtle yet critical signs of mini-strokes. Remember, knowing these warning signs isn't just about being informed, it's about protecting your independence, your vitality, and the moments that matter most. Have you learned something new today? Maybe a sign you never realized could be linked to a mini-stroke? I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts or any experiences in the comments below. Your story could help someone else be more aware too. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might need this information, and subscribe to our channel for more life-saving tips and empowering knowledge. Let's continue to learn, grow, and protect our health together. Thank you for watching, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.